Hey, folks. Once again, I am proud to deliver another very, very top quality and first class guest. Now, this lady in particular was introduced to me. And when somebody says, DJ Val, this is somebody who you need to have on your show, I kind of like stop and then I look at the person that says it to me. And then based on that, I make a decision. So she's here today, Miss Mojisola. Welcome to the Soul Food Show. There you go.
Hello, Val.
Hello. So I wanted to be truthful because that's what happened. I said, you need to have her. And, you know, when that person says, you know the person I'm talking about, right? When they say, you need to, yeah, then we need to have you here. But welcome. How have you been? How's your day been so far?
Day's been great. Thank God.
What have you been up to? Anything interesting today?
Just the usual work, mum stuff, wife stuff. Just the usual lifing.
Just doing life, right? What else?
Doing life, pushing the music again. I've been promoting my new single for the past 2.5 weeks. So very much need to catch up on some sleep when I get a chance because it's just been a roller coaster of emotions and such an experience after a long time. So it's been a great day.
We're going to talk about that because I think there's a big talking point around the new track as well. I've watched the video, love the video, by the way. Well done. I'm a very, very video-y person. So when I see a nice accompanying video to a great song, then that kind of got me. And there's people sitting all strategically placed around. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it because people are going to watch it a little bit later. But we get to that. But for those that don't know you, right, tell us a little bit about your background. So you started singing from the age of 8, if I'm not wrong?
I did, yes. Yeah. So I grew up, it's kind of hybrid, I'd say. Mm-hmm. So my younger years were spent back home in Nigeria. Yep. I'm Nigerian by background. Mm-hmm. And I grew up around a musical family. Okay. And my dad was very musically inclined. My grandfather was. My uncles all played one instrument or the other. I think my granddad kind of put his children in the church, like we all do, the church choir from a very young age so that he would keep them busy. He had like 8 sons, so he wanted to keep them busy. So they all had to learn one musical instrument or the other. And if you didn't know how to play an instrument, you had to learn to sing. So I grew up around sounds all my life. And certainly when I moved to England, I lived with an aunt who was very into music. So music has always been around me. I've always been around it. Various sounds. I grew up with the OGs, with the Marvin Gayes, with the Diana Rosses, the Gladys Knights, the Chaka Khans. So I grew up with the great singers, listening and hearing them all the time. So I've been singing from a very, very young age, joined the church choir, been in the church choir, led church choirs. So it's like, that's my it's second nature to me. It's that thing that I can do if you woke me up in the middle of the night,
right?
For real.
Which is like, wake up. There's a choir that needs directing somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Altos. Let's get you guys in sync. Oh, that is brilliant. And I just love the names that you reeled off. All of those are all my favorites.
Wow,
I think I think we come from a particular era and style that kind of music was, and everybody was distinctive. If you heard a Marvin Gaye or a Chaka Khan, there was no mistaking it for anybody else, right?
No, totally agree with that. I mean, you couldn't mix two artists. You couldn't have mistaken one person for the other. It was a beautiful era. Beautiful era.
Gone, never to be returned. I know.
Yes, exactly. So missed.
So missed. It was so different. So what was that like? So what was your house like with these singers and musicians? What was it like?
It was, funny enough, I didn't grow up with my uncles. It was more, I think I came into the awareness of that music side of me more when I lived with my aunt in London. She would have that, there's songs from these various artists blasting every single day. She was getting ready for work. I was getting ready for school, but we were both listening to maybe Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston, who's one of my big mentors. And it was just brilliant. It was just so soft, and she was always joyful. And I just saw how much music meant to her. She's still very much like that. I mean, she's in her probably late 50s, 60s now, but she's still very, very much into her music. And I'm still very much into my music. And it's just beautiful to see how I've grown up into this person who's listened, learned, and become what I've been listening to all my life. So it was such a beautiful experience and environment to grow up in. I have beautiful, fun memories of those days. I do.
Oh, that is great. That is great. So are any of your kids taking your lead at the moment?
Yes, my daughter loves to play the piano.
Okay.
They both sing, but I can see more of the passion in my son. He's the one that he's really into his music. His sister loves more of the instruments, and she's more introverted. He's very extroverted like me. So he's very into his music. He always wants to learn new sounds, and he learns so fast. He's a very fast learner. So both of them have that streak already. I can see it in them.
Oh.
Yeah, and I am encouraging them to, follow their own path.
Oh, we can see what's going to be happening there a few years later on, right? It's going to be, Mom, I've got a gig. You need to take me.
Yep, completely.
Oh, that is beautiful. So, all right. So you're singing in churches, and I always ask people. So, even though we sing in church, but what was it like the first time you actually had to lead? You had to come to the front and maybe be the principal person. What was that like?
That was nerve-wracking. Really, really nerve-wracking, because saying that, up until the first time that I had to lead, even though my aunt, she was the one that first felt that I had that gift of singing, and she would always encourage me. I remember when I was going to school, we would always get on the same tube up to, I think we were going towards Elephant and Castle then. And she would nudge me and tell me to start singing in the train, maybe, like the way the buskers do. Maybe somebody might, pick you up, there might be some kind of talent hunter on the train.
That's great faith. That's great faith.
Get rich quick.
Yeah, that's great faith. That's great faith.
Child star and that.
Yeah.
But she was the first person to discover that, and she would always encourage me to do that. And but after a while, when I moved back home to Nigeria, I was this young kid who just moved back from England with this very British accent. I stood out like a sore thumb, but I loved to sing. And I remember there was a day that there was an audition in the drama club, because there wasn't any other clubs that I really fancied. So I joined the drama club, and that included music and arts and everything else. And I remember the drama teacher saying that we were going to do a dance and a choreography to Michael Jackson's, I think it was Heal the World.
Okay.
And she wanted two soloists who could sing, it was Michael that sang the song, but she wanted a male and a female.
Yeah.
So I auditioned, but I remember standing singing Heal the World. So I remember singing that, but I had my eyes shut so tight you needed a plier to pry them open, because I was thinking, oh my God, by the time I open my eyes, everyone's gonna be got maybe earplugs in with their hands in, thinking, oh my God, she needs to be quiet. But to my biggest surprise, by the time I opened my eyes, everyone was quiet with their mouths open. And the drama teacher was she said to me,
wow,
how long have you been singing? I mean, mind you, this was 1993. She was like, you're 13 and your voice sounds like that? She could not believe it. So that was my first validation, even though I'd heard it for years that I could sing from my aunt. That was the first validation that I got, was from that drama teacher. And it kind of helped me build my confidence gradually. And as I grew up, I would go to and when I moved back to England, when I was a bit more in my teenage years, I would then go to karaoke bars with my friends, and I would sing in karaoke bars. So I built my confidence singing in karaoke clubs for a while, before I then joined the church and joined the worship team. So by the time I got into the worship team, I was nervous because I hadn't done gospel.
Yep.
That was my first gospel, and I thought maybe would I be able to fit in? Because I've done like R&B and soul and all the other genres. And as soon as that clicked, I thought, yep, definitely this is my path. This is for me. So I kind of stayed there for many, many years, and I've kind of built it from there.
You know, that is so smart, you know. It is, and I think a lot of people, you know, if you're listening, you've probably missed this opportunity. Going to places where you can sing, like karaoke bars and all that kind of stuff, that is such a great way to build your confidence, right?
Oh, yeah. Because you know what the people that are there are very honest. If you can't sing, they'll boo you, and if you can, they'll clap for you. And if you're lucky and everyone's really drunk, they won't notice.
Yeah. You know, too busy.
You'll fall into one of the categories, and you know there will be no, there's going to be no pretense in those environments, because it's cutthroat sometimes, you know. And I would normally go when there was a prize to be won, so it would be something like around £150, £200, and I was lucky. You'd win, right? Yeah, I would win it. So that was encouraging me to keep going, because that more or less validated me. It made me feel like, yeah, you can do this. I mean, people are paying, people are giving you the money. There's other people that sang. Yeah. But even other competitors would walk up to you and they would tell you, you have a great voice. And I remember there was a fella, an elderly gentleman, I'd say that, but he was probably in his 50s then. After I finished singing, he came up to me and he said, whatever drink you want, I'm buying, because the hair on the back of my neck stood up. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm pulling old man. This can't be right.
So you have a formula that works. Sorry to cut you. You got a formula that works. So you're going to these places, they're giving you free drinks or whatever you want, and you're taking home money, you know, because you're wiping the floor with the opposition, right? So more or less. All right, so this is getting really interesting. I didn't even know we were going to go down here, but this is really, really good. So it was interesting because the way that you describe your style of music, it's Afro R&B kind of style when you sing, right? Yes. A kind of fusion blend of everything. So how did you settle on that and just not say I do Afro or I do R&B? You just said let's try and merge them together and come out with that soulful sound. Well,
I stumbled into it. It wasn't planned. So really what had happened was, for all my older songs, my older song releases, I'd always done more of the kind of the proper gospel CCM Christian contemporary style of singing. So when I took a break from singing for about 3 years ago, and when I was writing during that period, but I wasn't recording to release. Okay. But when I was writing, I didn't have a sound. Usually I'd get a sound in my head of how the song's gonna go, but this time around I was just recording, I think I was just more like playing around with sounds. And I remember when it was time to record this particular song that I've just released, when it was time to record that, I didn't know how it was going to go. But when I met the gentleman that recorded or produced the song, and I said to him, look, I've got this rough draft of this song, I just kind of blurted it out, you go play with it and see what you can, work out from this. So he comes back and he says, we could do something Afro with this Afro beat. And I says, that's way off because I've never done that genre ever. That's not my usual style. I was so scared. I didn't want to venture into that because I felt like I wasn't comfortable. I hadn't done it before. And the other thing is that I didn't want to lose who I was. I wasn't going to do things that everybody was doing and struggle with it. So I said to him, I'm going to bring me into that genre. So what I did was I brought my R&B background, my soul, my gospelish sound.
Yep.
And I fused it because I said, well, nobody else is doing it, so why not? Let's start something different. So it became my R&B Afro-fusion.
Wow.
And so I remember my friend, when he first heard the song, he said, I felt like I was listening to Cece Winans on Afrobeat. That was joyful to hear. And I said, that's exactly what I was aiming for, is that I'm able to this element and this element, two great elements of genres of music, and fuse them and still make it not sound cringy and awkward. So I think, God really blessed the attempts there. Yeah,
I've got to say that, and I know that some of your influences are Cece Winans as well. So when somebody comes and says to you that you're sounding like Cece Winans on an Afrobeat track, it is like it don't get much better than that, right?
It don't get much better. That's a massive compliment.
It really doesn't get much better than that. I absolutely love that. I've got to remember that one for next time. So if you're not sounding like Cece Winans on an Afrobeat track, you ain't even started today. That is brilliant. So let's talk about the track itself, Best Life. Now there's a story around it, isn't there? How so tell us a bit about the story and
Oh, well, so a few years ago, I went through kind of a very tough period in my life. Some very dark situation, which was kind of personal. And I was, I just felt like life was not going in the direction that I thought it would. I was stuck. I was depressed. I was kind of tired, and I music usually is my escape. But this time around, I just was not feeling like I wanted to do the music anymore either. I literally hit rock bottom. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
And whilst I was in that rock bottom stage, I remember these lyrics coming to me. I'm living my best life. I'm a wonder to my generation. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a wrong environment. Because nothing in my life looks like what I'm singing or what I'm hearing. Nothing. It did not look like it.
Wow.
But the Bible verse came to me, and I just went into the Bible. I just said, I've seen this word somewhere. And so I just checked the YouVersion app for I'm a wonder. And I read it was Psalm 71, and it was when David was talking about how God has stayed with him from his youth, delivered him, brought him out, made him a great person because God was his refuge. And that broke so many things around me. It broke the darkness. I cried. I felt like, so God is here. He is listening. He can see it.
Yes.
Not like I didn't know, but I just felt like it wasn't happening anymore. And so I wrote that. I just recorded it in my voice memo, and I left it there for 3 years. Didn't do anything with it until last year, when I felt like God was nudging me to go back to singing. And there were so many friends who would hit me up and say, look, you really need to go back. You need to go back to do this. And I was having sleepless nights. I'd have dreams of me singing again and things like that. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go and do this, aren't I? So I got up, and the first song that came to my mind was that particular song. But at the time, I didn't know what it was going to sound like. And I stumbled upon this young man in Nigeria called Mello, and he produced, we got together, he produced it, and, the rest is history from there. That's how the song was born, from the depths of depression to the heights of God's love. It's a beautiful, so every lyric has a meaning. It does mean something.
Wow. I mean, it's I always find it's encouraging. God's word is always encouraging, but the fact that it's now you're using the music as that vehicle, as part of your healing and part of your deliverance as well, and that's what people will get from the song too. It becomes that vehicle for everybody to get on board this journey of just getting themselves back. And depression is a tough place to come back from. It's not an easy thing to negotiate or navigate. And wow, And then we end up with this.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I do like it actually, and I'll let you know what I'm going to do a little bit later on, because you got a video, and I love a video. I said I love the video. Was this your idea actually, the video, to do it this way, or did you have some artistic direction?
No, I did. I've always had a team being people that I've worked with in the past.
Yeah.
So I contacted the videographer, who happens to be a medical doctor. He just has a passion for videography and cinematography.
Yeah.
And he was the one that shot the video for Pray as well. So we've always worked together.
Oh.
And I reached out to him and I said, "Hey Doc, it's been 3 years." And he said, "I'm so glad you're back." And I said, "We've got something to work on." I said, "I've got a song." So I sent him the song, and it was like, now this is a different level. And then he says, "Do you have an idea in mind?" And I said, hold my beer. I'll be right back. And I remember just going on the Instagram, and I came across a video of, and I'm a very visual person anyway. I think in pictures. I talk in pictures. And I had this idea of a minimalist video. I didn't want it had to be clean, it had to be different, it had to be very gripping, but very simple.
Yeah.
Because the song was going to do all the talking.
Yeah.
And so I did the styling, I styled myself, I had how the placements of the various sitting positions was going to be. So we worked together, and we agreed that it was going to be a plain studio. It was going to be white, so that we could have different color gradings and things like that. And that was it. So yes, I do come up with all the videos that we've shot. We work together, and most of the times he will come up with a concept, but this time around I kind of said, this is what I have, this is what I saw for this song. So
and it is different from Pray. If anyone's seen Pray, it is, Pray's more it's more dramatic. I think that's
because of the irony is, when Pray was recorded, it was recorded in 2019, and when I recorded it, God said don't release it until February 2020. Now it didn't make no sense at the time, because we thought, oh yeah, sure, everything's ready, we should just release. And I had recorded the audio but not the video in 2019. So early 2020, I got a call from a friend saying, "Oh, we'd like you to come and sing at the London Fashion Week. They want someone to come and sing." I said, "Well, I'm a Christian singer. You don't mind that?" And they said, "We'd love to. They heard your song, they want you to sing it." So that was the first place that I actually debuted the song. It was at the London Fashion Week runway. And it was that same weekend that we shot the video for Pray in London, because we'd already scheduled the shoot for that weekend.
Okay.
But saying that at that time, the news of COVID was starting to filter in. We'd had like 3 cases in the UK.
Yep.
And we didn't think anything was going to be, it wasn't going to be that serious or whatever. And before we knew it, we went into lockdown. So we'd shot the video, we'd done all that. And then come March, I sensed that we needed to release the song. So we released the song, and a friend of mine at work sent it to the BBC Cambridge and said, "Look, there's a nurse, a colleague of mine who happens to be a nurse, and she sings amazingly. And this song will really, really encourage everyone in England." So they sent it to the BBC, and it blew up from there.
Wow.
So when we wanted to do the video shoot, and I asked Doc, I said, "Doc, what are you feeling for this video?" He said, "We need," and I said to him, it needs to be a desolate, dry place, somewhere that's bare, somewhere that's broken, somewhere that doesn't look like a great. And then we got a church in London that was shell bombed years ago, probably 100 years ago. But the inside was destroyed during World War II or World War I. But the actual structure of the church remained
intact. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we shot we shot Pray.
Fabulous. Wow.
Yeah.
And you know, that just went on to be almost like a bit of an anthem, wasn't it, for
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the anthem for 2020. You know, went on to have many more interviews at the BBC, BBC Radio 4, just sitting in panels and, you know, talking about health, contributing from the point of healthcare. And then September for, I think it was September, October for Black History Month, which was dedicated to music artists at the time. And they were celebrating Black artists. And I got a call from the BBC saying, would you sing a song of any musician of your choice, you know, somebody that has been an inspiration to you? And I said, how long do you have? Because there's a lot of them. So I love Whitney Houston and I love Cece, and they both have a song they sang together. So I went ahead and I did a studio recording of both parts. I did a duet with myself and sent it to the BBC and said, this is what I've come up with. It was a brilliant year. It really was.
I can see. Oh, so where is that then, that song? The song is called Count on Me. Yeah. It was the soundtrack to the movie Waiting to Exhale. Yeah. Which was like 95, 96. I remember it. I remember it. Yeah.
So I sang that as kind of like to honor those two artists. They had the biggest impact musically for me and in my life. So that was it should be on my YouTube channel as well. Okay. I released the audio and we kind of just shot, because obviously we still had lockdown going ish. So we shot just me in the studio singing the song. That was the official video for it, because that's what we could do at the time. Beautiful. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. That was like the best part for me.
I mean, this is absolutely awesome. Now I'm gonna have to really trail through the whole of your YouTube and really catch up, because obviously it looks as if I've been missing something and I don't want to miss out. Right now that I know you and I hear your sound and it goes well, and you know we are a kind of soulful kind of radio station, so you kind of fit really well, and then with a bit of the Afrobeat flavor it goes even better, right? So you know, we're really, really glad to have you as part of our rotation. I said you're already in our rotation, and we really look forward to what God is going to do with your next projects. And I'm not too keen to say what's next, because I really want to enjoy this, right? Best Life, I really want to enjoy this, because if I say what's next, it just deprecates this thing and puts it in the background, right? And then so everyone's looking for the new thing. But I want to really enjoy this, so we will hold on to what's next. But please, just because of time, tell everybody how they can connect with you. And then the last thing you got to do is introduce the song, because we won't play it in the interview, but we'll play it afterwards. It'll be the very next thing. So tell people how they can get hold of you, and then you can introduce the track for me.
Okay, so guys, you can connect with me on Instagram at officialmojisola_. I am also on Facebook at Mojisola Music, Twitter Mojisola_music, and I think I'm more active on Instagram. That's kind of my home base. You can also reach me on official Mojisola_24 on TikTok. So this is Best Life, and I hope you enjoy it.
Every time I call you, your presence fills the room. You're the greatest lover. No one else can do the things you do. Baba, you're closer to me than the air I breathe. I gotta tell everyone how you they run them steadily, thanking you for all you've done, and all the battles that you've won.
Generation, because of you, all
flood. Baba, know for my hand, oh. You know for my hand, oh. I thought it was over, but we're just getting started. Baba, know fit for my hand, oh. Gotta tell everyone, now you they run them steadily. Oh, thanking you for all you've done and the battles that you won.